Have a warm welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. This Tormore, 16 years of age, is the third one in a row, and so far the oldest and most expensive of the Tormore range. It's not that expensive at all, and it's 46.8% ABV and costs around 80 euros here in Central Europe at Whisky.com, plus 1, 2, 3 euros depending on the alcohol taxes you pay in your country. It's uncolored, it's unchill filtered, and as I said, it's so far the flagship of the Tormore Distillery. And the Tormore Distillery is a wonderful piece of architecture at the Spey, in the middle of the Speyside, called itself the Pearl of the Speyside, and really that's true. They have a wonderful old-made still house, which was built in 1957, I think, and have a machine house just close by with a bell tower, wonderful gardens. And yeah, it's a distillery, very attractive to the public, but unfortunately it was for a very, very long time not available for the public, neither for a visit nor with a whiskey. This changed in a few years ago when the distillery was sold from one of the big mega corporations to a smaller family-owned company. And they decided to bring out 3 Tormore whiskies in the first, not batch, in the first series of whiskies. And this one is the third in a row. You have seen those 2 other whiskies just before. And this one is a sherry matured whiskey. And it's well matured in as well as Oloroso sherry and Fino sherry casks, if I remember right. I will look it up on the card box very soon. And this combines very well with the fruity character, distillery character of the whiskey itself. If this whiskey is as good as they say, well, we've seen very soon. And the other whiskies I had from Tormore, they were beautiful pieces of work. And the Pearl of Speyside, 16 years of age, matured in both cream cherry, not Fino, cream cherry and Oloroso sherry casks for layers of soft, jammy sweetness and delicate spices. Yeah, the Fino sherry, that's not a sherry for me. I'm more on the sweeter sherry side or more the fruity sherry side, and those very dry Fino sherry, I never had any sense for this kind of sherries. No, it wasn't built, the distillery wasn't built in 1957, it was built in 1959. And it was, I think, the first one built really new after the Second World War. And, well, they had money then, and they built a huge distillery with 2 rows of stills, big stills, and 2 rows of 4 or 2 rows of 6. But all of them are very huge and massive. Produce a lot of malt whiskey. They produce malt whiskey, and it's bottled as single malt. The years before, when it was in the ownership of this mega corporation, they produced malt whiskey for the blended whiskey industry. So you can produce malt whiskey without bottling it as a malt whiskey or as single malt whiskey. And now this family-owned business, they come from the trade, from the whiskey trade, very famous people based in London. And they are very much in single malt whiskey. One of the proprietors is a pair of brothers. He's also collecting single malt whiskies, and this collection is huge, huge. Very well done, and very fruity already on the cork. Heavy bottle. I think it's heavier than the other 2. I might be wrong because it's already 2 weeks ago that I tasted the other 2. But this feels more expensive. Yeah. So there is sherry on the nose, dates, figs, fudge, and a little bit of citrus notes in the background. That's from the Distillery character. And officially it said butter brioche. I can't confirm that. But there is of course, a slight maltiness, a little bit of cereal note in it. And the 46.8%, they are not present on the nose. So the cask influence is strong that this can cover the alcohol in the whiskey. Yeah, cheers. Ooh. Solid, intense, spicy. 16 years in sherry casks, that delivers a lot of spice from the wood. Intense, combined with dry fruits, as I had in the nose. Some darker fruitiness, or officially it said blueberry jam. I don't know if it's blueberry or not. It's a long aftertaste with a distinct nutty note, and this nutty note comes from the sherry cask. Very intense. Yeah, much depth, long aftertaste. Oily in my mouth, but covering the inside of my mouth with distinct spiciness, broadening my mouth, warming up, and I came with a bike and a little bit sweat on the back, and this is no leather. No, this is Chinese plastic. So you hear my bag on the seat. Yeah. Deep, dark fruitiness, spiciness now fading away, massive, and for 16 years of age, that's not too expensive. I think it's reasonably priced, uncolored, unchill filtered, as it should be. Yeah, wonderfully made. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you next time.